So we talked about not being promiscuous. And if you have been promiscuous, if you have a past, it is unwise to have very strict requirements and hoops for a top shelf man to jump to. He won't. He fucking won't. I promise you he won't. I talk to these guys on the regular. I know the mentality. I know the mindset. I know the demographic. I'm in it. They don't fucking put up with that shit. Oh, you want me to wait 8 dates? I talked about it in my book, The Unplugged Alpha. If you haven't read it, guys, it's at the top of the screen. You get it on Amazon. There's a story that I gave you guys in that book. I'll tell it again. Went out on a date. Lady shows up, a little bit taller than I was expecting. I'm not really into giants. She's probably like almost as tall as I was. And a little bit heavier than what I was expecting. I'm there. She's funny. She's got a nice rack. I'm like, whatever. Let's just sit down and have this beer. We sit down. She starts to telling me about how crappy her dating life was and how it's not going her way. And I'm like, okay, explain it to me. And she's like, as a result of all of that, Rich, I've set an 8-date rule, and I'm not going to sleep with a guy unless it's been 8 dates. And she's talking to me like she's trying to qualify me because she thinks that I'm interested in her. Like I haven't told her that I think she's fat yet at this point. Anyway, so I just laugh, and I have no filter at that point because I'm not here to please you. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't lie anyway when I'm talking to anybody. I'll look you in the eyes and I'll tell you the truth. And I just looked at her and I said, I basically almost spit out my drink as I'm having a swig. And I'm like, I don't negotiate desire. It's a really bad strategy trying to negotiate when intimacy happens because it takes away the organic transaction of validational sex versus transactional sex, right? And it's just dumb. It's not going to work for you. And I don't play games like that. And again, at this point, she still thinks that I might be interested in her. And she changes her behavior immediately. You see her mind shift. She sits up and then she goes, fine. And then she makes a gesture towards the bathroom and says, let's go fuck right now. I'm only there for 15 minutes and she's already telling me that she doesn't do anything for 8 dates. And all of a sudden that entire rule dropped and she wanted to go bang in the bathroom immediately. Women will make rules for men that they see as betas, and they will break rules for men as they see as alphas. It was a shit test. I passed it. I wasn't interested. It was also one of the few times in my life that I passed on an aggressive advance from a chick, right? But for the ladies out there that have had a pass, that have dated guys that might be in their 30s and are looking to find a guy to commit to them, one of the worst things you could do is put a guy off by saying you're going to have to wait 8 dates. He's not going to wait. Why would he pay full price on a vehicle that's already been driven off the lot, had a whole bunch of owners, has all kinds of baggage with it, and you're asking full price for something that's a depreciated asset? That's exactly when you should not be waiting. You should be like early on in life, when you're younger, when your purity is there, when you've got higher value. Again, men and women peak at different times in life. Okay. Men peak in their mid to late 30s. A lot of people debate this. It's 30, it's 40. It can keep going from 40 into 60. I don't care what it is. Men peak later on in life than women do. Women across the board, when you ask men, doesn't matter culture, continent, religion, or age. They've done this with every demographic of men all around the world. And every single man from every culture picks women that are approximately 22 to 23-year-olds as the most attractive. After that, you're on the decline. You can be 33, have your own house paid for, 2 cars, like a cool car and a regular car, nice house, pool, all kinds of shit. 17 throw pillows on your bed that are beautifully arranged, blah, blah, blah. But if you spent your youth squandering it away, traveling Europe, banging, going to parties, hooking up with guys, giving it to them, early and quick, as women do, dude like that ain't going to wait. He's going to be, fuck this shit. And he's going to move on to something that's, thinking, that's smarter. It is wise for women not to hold out on guys, especially if you're not a new vehicle anymore. I'll just leave it at that. Let me get the super chat here right now. Claudia here says, Rich, don't fault me for not calling in. I'm at work. If a man already has kids, would you enjoy a relationship with a woman who is still fertile but didn't have kids with you? Want your perspective. If a man has, okay, so I have a kid. Yes, I would. So a relationship, as you're asking, like as you're defining it, Claudia, I would only have a relationship. I would only invite a woman into my life for a relationship if I didn't have to deal with another man's kids. We talked about this Monday night on Chopping It Up. Me and Moff were sort of going through the red flags, and the one about single moms came up. And I think, some guys, depending on how old you are, like maybe a guy my age, although I'd prefer to date younger, might date a woman around his age. Maybe she's got adult kids. They've grown up. They're out of the house. Most of them are out of the house or whatever. They might entertain it, but a woman that doesn't have kids is still a better choice, to me anyway. Even if I have a kid, as a long-term type of relationship, I don't have to put up with, I'm not available that night, or can you come to Billy's birthday party, or at Billy's birthday dinner, we're going to go out and, my ex is going to be there and we're all going to sit down and talk together and pretend like we're a happy family, all that bullshit. It's like, I don't want to deal with any of that baggage. I don't want to deal with, taking her kids on vacation and paying for shit. I just don't. So to Claudia's question, to that point, my preference would be for a gal without any prior encumbrances, baggage, whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. And it's like, oh yeah, but Rich, you got kids, what can they start having a fucking meltdown and a spaz. And it's like, yeah, but it's very different between men and women. I'm squared away. I got my life in fucking order. My kid isn't a problem. I raise a child properly, well-behaved, polite, thoughtful. Whereas you never know what you're going to get. In the vast majority of cases, you don't get something that's good or going to enhance your life, if I can put it that way. If you're dealing with a chick with kids in tow, sometimes from multiple relationships, multiple different fathers, different schedules, different events, sitting around, like, fuck all of that noise. I hope that answers your question, Claudia. All right, what do we got here? We talked about promiscuity and when you should hold out and when you shouldn't. You should hold out when you're younger. I didn't really talk about that. You should hold out when you're younger. You can only bargain that transaction once. Once it's been bargained and it goes, vehicle's no longer new. It's no longer showroom condition. Okay. And I know you don't like it, and I know it bothers women, but it is what it is. Just like men can't have babies, just like women get preferential treatment in family court during divorce, just like women get a better deal when it comes to justice and criminal convictions, far lighter sentences, far lower fines. They get let off speeding more than men do. They pay lower car insurance than men do, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a lot of discrepancies in our world. And I don't hear guys, crying about it all the time. But the minute that you tell a woman that her purity has value, that a lack of promiscuity is valuable to men, they lose their fucking ever-loving mind. It's like, again, show me guys that have said, I wish my wife had banged 100 more guys before I got married to her. They don't exist. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.